Wakenhyrst by Michelle Paver is a Gothic historical novel with strong elements of psychological horror and folklore. It's not a conventional thriller, more of a slow-burn tale of obsession, repression, and unease that compels you to keep turning the pages as the mystery gets unveiled. The story unfolds in the fictional Fenland village of Wakenhyrst, near Ely, where I live, which added an extra layer of mystery as I tried to place it within the landscape that I know so well. I found the perspective especially clever. We begin in childhood, watching the cloud of Maud's innocence lift as her awareness and understanding of the world gradually deepens in step with the plot. She grows into a character you can't help but sympathize with as she pushes back against the injustice of a patriarchal pre-World War I society. She finds comfort and belonging, not in the strict beliefs of her father, but in the folklore and wilderness of the Fens. What lingered for me was the way that Paver weaves critical examinations of patriarchy and religion into the novel. Her voice feels strong yet sensitive. She shows how religious belief can be twisted into a framework of control and violence, but she does this sensitively whilst maintaining a deep respect of the art and culture that religion has long been part of in the Fens. The ambiguity around Maud's father, whether he knows his own evil and hides behind faith, or truly believes that he is righteous, was particularly unsettling for me, and uncomfortably resonant with figures in our own time. This book left me thinking for a long time after I finished it. It deepened my appreciation for the folklore and traditions of the Fenlands, while also unsettling me with its exploration of obsession and control. Michelle Paver's descriptions of the landscape, the shifting seasons, the birds and vegetation are vivid and grounding. It really gave me a newfound appreciation for the landscape I see around me when out on walks with my fiancé and our husky Tundra. Wakenhyrst was recommended to me by my friend Sarah when I asked for spooky season reads. Horror isn't usually my go-to genre, but I'm glad I stepped outside my comfort zone. If you're interested in folklore, history and superstition, and would like them all woven together with a Gothic mystery, then I think you'll enjoy Wakenhyrst. Personally, I'll give it 4 stars, though that's more of a reflection of my taste than the book's execution, which is thoughtful and immersive. I'd highly recommend it to others who enjoy this genre. Maud's father, the antagonist in this story, gets fixated on a medieval painting of the Last Judgment called The Doom of Wakenhyrst, which is inspired by the real-world Wenhaston Doom. I thought it would be a nice touch to weave that into my rebind by tracing figures from the Wenhaston Doom and hiding them around the manor house where the story unfolds. Both existing covers for Wakenhyrst really stood out to me, and I wanted to borrow something from each. The illustration of the manor house by Edward Betterson is the backbone of my design, but I reimagined it by shifting the composition. I centered it on the spine, wrapped it around the whole cover, and then set it against a dark night sky. I added reeds in the foreground for depth, and then scattered the Doom figures around the house. My favourite part was hiding a few demons in the windows, just waiting to be spotted by observant readers. From Stephen McNally's cover, I borrowed the magpie, which I placed in flight beside the title on the front. Actually making this cover was more of a challenge than I expected. I'd lost a week to illness and wasn't fully recovered when I started, so I made some silly mistakes. I had a nasty cold, and my voice still isn't quite recovered yet. I decided to experiment with using plain paper instead of printable canvas. It did work, but it's quite finicky. I protected the print with a clear matte acrylic gel medium. It has a really nice paper-like finish whilst being flexible enough at the hinge to avoid cracking, and it provides a layer of protection to the paper that will stop it degrading with time. I used fabric to reinforce the hinge of the boards to account for the weakness of the paper, and I had to be quite careful whilst gluing the cover to the boards, as the wet paper could tear quite easily. Thankfully, I only found this out when pressing down the turn-ins, and this would be covered by the end papers, so it wasn't a big deal. During the cover's time in the press, the spaces I used to shape the hinges ended up sticking to the paper, and I couldn't remove them without damage. My quick fix was to glue a second sheet of paper on top, carefully aligning the artwork and hiding the seams in the folds. That wasn't the only setback either. Somewhere along the line, my printer settings had changed, and I didn't notice until the book had already been pressed. The result wasn't bad, but it was much darker than the vibrant cover that I'd planned. So I improvised. I still had a brighter test print from earlier in the week, and I used it to make a dust jacket. After some careful measuring, cutting and gluing, it came together quite nicely, maybe even better than the original. My friend Sarah said that she thought it was fitting to have a more dark and gothic version of the cover hiding beneath the dust jacket, and I'm inclined to agree. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments once you've seen the final reveal. If you enjoy my content, I'd really appreciate you liking this video and subscribing to my channel. It'll let YouTube know that you want more content like this, and it'll also help me out by recommending my channel to more people who enjoy similar things to you. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.